In this section, we're going to talk about the next tiny little difference between JSX and HTML. This difference is very small, so we should get through this video pretty darn quickly. The rule is, anywhere in HTML where we assign a class, whenever we move over to JSX, we're going to use a slightly different syntax. So let me show you an example. Back over inside of our index.js file, our label has a class of label right here. So technically, we're not supposed to use the keyword class inside of a JSX element. Instead, we use ClassName, like so. And that's it. That's the only change you have to make. Now you might be curious, why do we have to do that? What is the difference between just saying class and ClassName? Well, I want you to recall, back when we were working on CodePen a little bit ago, we had created an ES 2015 class. I'm going to show you a quick example of that right here. We had written something like class app extends react.component. So the keyword in there was class. That was a JavaScript keyword. The reason that we have to use ClassName instead of class in JSX is essentially just to avoid collisions with this keyword of class. That's it. We just don't want JavaScript to get confused and think that we are trying to define a new JavaScript class right here. Now, as you just saw, our code is able to run in the browser without error when we do this. So this is kind of a throwback to the very old days of React, where this used to be an issue, but these days, JavaScript and the tools around it are intelligent enough to understand the difference between a class declaration right here and us using the class attribute inside of some JSX. So with that in mind, it's important to understand that there is some discussion in the React community right now around removing this requirement of saying class name. So at some point in time in the future, you might see in the documentation something that says, oh yeah, you can now get away with entering class instead of class name. However, that's going to be something probably in the future, might not even be live by the time you watch this video. Just be aware that this requirement might be a little bit relaxed. Okay, so I'm going to replace that with class name. I'll then save the file. I'm going to flip back over to my browser, and it looks like everything still continues to work. Okay, so not bad. So let's move on to the next section, and we're going to talk about the last little difference between JSX and HTML.